Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Claire, and if you're new here, it's so nice to have you. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about scheduling in joy and living joyfully. So I know a lot of times when we get overwhelmed, the things that bring us joy and are lighthearted ways to express ourselves or create art or whatever you create or do to bring joy into your life, that seems to be one of the first things that we kind of let slide to the side, and we focus on what are the things that we need to do, what does our massive to-do list consist of, and just our mental list of all the things that we have going on in life and all the things we need to get to. And it feels like we don't always have time for the things that bring us joy or allow us to pause and actually be in the moment. So I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, it would be nice if it was more commonplace to schedule joy, and that it doesn't seem to be something we really do. But then as I was thinking about it, I was like, well, actually we do for the big moments in our lives. We do for the birthdays or the weddings or even the vacations and the trips and the holidays. When we go on those, we do actually take the time to generally plan those. And doing that means that they do actually take place when we're intending. So why is it that it's not also common practice to do the same thing in our day-to-day lives? So is there something each day that you could take a few minutes to do, or 30 minutes or an hour if you have that luxury on some days, to actually stop and do something just for the fun of it? There's no purpose really behind it aside from to enjoy the process and doing it because it brings you joy. So I was thinking that, again, it's just not something that we tend to do in our day-to-day lives, and it's something that I think we should all pause and reflect on and think, what is there that we could bring into our lives? So for me, something I love reading, and I don't always take the time to do that. I love my baths, which I do definitely always make time for, just because that's my biggest form of self-care. And then I also love to create art and paint, and I find that I always feel like I need to have some purpose behind it. I can't just paint to paint most of the time. Or I feel like I'm too busy to really get into it and for it to be worth pulling all this stuff out. So for me, something that I'm going to be more mindful of is there even one day a week that I can commit to every week, either taking time to read a book and sit down, taking time to get out some arts and craft supplies and create just for the fun of it, and not because there's any real intention to create or sell or create for it to be beautiful and perfect, even if it's not turning out the way I want it to do, enjoying the process of being creative and letting the creativity flow through me. So I wanted to hop on here and just speak to that a little bit and ask the question, what do you think there is in your own life that would bring you joy if you were to implement more of it into your life? And what would the impact then be on the rest of your life? So if right now you feel like you don't have time for any fun or anything joyful, and you're just going through the motions of all of these things on your to-do list and all of these things you have to do and you're doing because you have to do them and not because you love doing them, that can take a toll on you after a while. So how much more effective do you think you would be when you're doing the have to-dos if you were in a more joyous place in your life? If you take that time to look after your soul, to look after your happiness and your contentment in life, that would definitely translate to all of these other areas in your life and allow you to potentially have more joyful experiences going through the things that you don't necessarily find joy in right now. So I feel like it is something that there's so many benefits. You have your joy in the moment, you have the joy added to your life and making your life one that is more fulfilling, more enjoyable to go through as you're going through your journey. And then it also translates to you feeling happier, bringing that happiness and that shift in perspective to the other areas of your life. And I just feel like the impact would really compound and continue to grow over time as you start to do it more regularly and more frequently. And just realizing that taking that time to stop, to really care for yourself and your being and your soul would ultimately have such an amazing impact on all areas of your life. And I would really encourage you to give it a shot. I know I am going to try to be more diligent with my own scheduling of joy. It is something I do, as I mentioned. My baths are non-negotiable. Another thing that's non-negotiable for me is my journaling, because that brings me peace of mind, and I do that just for myself. But adding in that fun element of something that is joyful and happy, of creating something, that is something that I am going to start to be more intentional about. And I will kind of keep you posted on my progress as I go through that and making the time to make that happen and making that another non-negotiable for me. So I would love for you to share in the comments, what is one thing that you're going to add to your life, and how often are you able to commit to doing it? Is it something that you can do a few times a week, once every 2 weeks, or once a month? What does that look like for you? Please do share, and I'd love to have a little bit of discussion in the comments about it. Thank you, and I hope you have a beautiful week ahead.